Welcome to Titan Talk. This is episode 1 of Titan Talk. My name is Kimber, and I'll be breaking down all the latest details about the newest episodes of Attack on Titan. So, obviously, this will be filled with spoilers. We're going to dive into the plot, we're going to look at character developments, I'm going to share my favorite quotes, and reveal the new developments we've learned in this episode. Later on, I'll go into my predictions for the next episode and talk about some other news in the Attack on Titan media world. Okay, so before I get into this mess, I just want to mention something about this podcast. This is strictly about the animated series on TV. This is not about the manga series. I just want to mention this in case somebody pulls a Snape kills Dumbledore in the comments box of wherever you're listening to this from. So please, this is just about the TV show. Also, I don't own any of the storylines, characters, events in the Attack on Titan world, nor do I own any of the rights, trademarks pertaining to the show in any way. Let's do this, guys! The episode was called Soldier. Looking at what the last episode discussed, I thought it was going to be about Eren. I thought Eren was finally going to build that wall. Hashtag build that wall. Well, we didn't see Eren in this episode at all. I was disappointed. I'm super excited to see this wall being built. Yeah, it kind of did not meet my expectations there, but a lot of other cool stuff happened, and we will get to that now. So, going through the plot, first off, it started out 2 hours before the ending of the last episode. Now, this is the second time this season that they have done these time jumps. This wasn't really something we saw a whole lot in the first season, but we're on episode 4. They've done this twice. So I feel like they're going to keep doing it again in the future. I think this is just something we have to get used to. I mean, after watching the full episode, I understand why they did it. It doesn't mean I have to like it. Okay, so we're 2 hours before the ending of the last episode. Now we're seeing this other group of people realizing that the Titans can move at night. Yeah. The senior scouts look at the newer scouts and they say, hey, well, it looks like there are a lot of Titans and they're moving around right now at night, which is new, so you're on your own. And all of the unarmed scouts were like, got it, all together. So you have the senior scouts who are fighting this wave of Titans. You know, they're well equipped, they're armed, and then you have the other group who's not that at all. So they're basically waiting inside now, I guess waiting to die. And Reiner hears a noise, goes to find out what it is, and there's a Titan in the castle. A Titan in the castle. He opens the door, it's in there. My theory is that it's not just the walls that are Titan skin. It's the whole inside. It's all of the structures. It's everything in there, I believe, is made of Titan. Now, I could be 1000% wrong, but given the evidence, given the clues, I'm moving towards that. They had a couple close calls in there with that Titan. Reiner pushes him out of the way. Reiner gets bit. Oh no, grabbed his arm. And Ymir kicks that Titan off of him, kicks it out the window. That was one of the, I believe, breadcrumbs that was dropped, leading up to the big reveal at the very end. Then we cut back to the older scouts. They're outside. They're kicking butt, you know. They've got great teamwork. And then they realize, we're out of gas. We're out of weaponry. And the Beast Titan, super smart, still don't know where he's from, starts throwing chunks of wall rose at them. He's obliterating them, just one at a time. They get overwhelmed, because now there's a second wave of Titans coming in. The senior scouts are dying. And here is where they leave us. The unarmed scouts have come back up to the top of the tower. They're looking down in dismay. Ymir calmly asks for the knife, and she says a bunch of sweet stuff to Krista, and then she jumps. She jumps, cuts her hand. She's a Titan. Ymir changes into a Titan at the end of the episode, and then they say to be continued. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? So yeah, that's where the episode ended. I want to discuss the episode slide. They always have a slide in the episode kind of pertains to what's going on. This time they had a slide that was near when Reiner discovered the Titan inside the castle, and it was a picture of the castle, and on it said, "It is unknown when this ancient castle turned ruins was built." That being said, I think that also points to my theory that this whole city is made of Titans. They are appearing everywhere. We don't know when these buildings were built. We just assume that they are made out of bricks, but come on, they found a Titan in the walls. I think they're built out of Titans. I think every structure in this world is made of Titans. That's my theory. So I also wanted to share my favorite quote of the episode. I picked this one because it was one of a couple funny moments in the episode. Attack on Titan does a good job of keeping their characters human. Not the Titans, obviously, but the people who are fighting the Titans. They take that extra care to add in bits of humor and bits of storyline just to the people and not have it be all about fighting the Titans. It would just feel a lot like robots fighting robots without those human touches. And one funny moment was when Gelgar is basically at his death and he grabs the bottle that was used to heal Reiner's wounds, the bottle of alcohol, and he tips it back and it hits his jaw, and there's no alcohol in there. That irony of his last dying wish not being met, and just the cruelty of it, I think, played very well into Attack on Titan. It's a very cruel world. You're not going to get what you want. You're going to fight for what you have. I think that played into that. But my favorite quote, anyway, it was when Reiner was having his wounds tended to by Krista, and she pours alcohol on his arm, and she rips a piece of skirt off of her, just right at the bottom, and she wraps that piece of skirt around his arm, and he doesn't say it, he looks at her, and he thinks, gotta marry her. Gotta marry her. Oh, man. That was my favorite quote from that episode. I also wanted to talk about Ymir. This whole episode was basically breadcrumb, breadcrumb, breadcrumb. She's a Titan. It started when Connie's saying, hey, I still think that Titan we saw back there was my mom. Ymir piped in awfully quick to shut him up and just made him look stupid for suggesting the idea. And I think that also tells me that maybe these Titans who were disguised as people, maybe they know who the others are. For her to jump in like that, I think she knew that his mom was a Titan, and him getting in on that fact and him cluing himself in on that fact by looking in her eyes and seeing the similarities between him and the Titan, I think they know each other. And I think Eren is an exception just because he had no idea he was a Titan until he changed into one. I think that whole exchange pointed to that. Also, did I think that Ymir was a Titan before this episode? Absolutely not. I just thought she was a witch. I just thought she was a mean person, and that's just her personality. That's just who she is. But no, it really explained a lot about her. Do I like her more because she's a Titan? Maybe. We'll have to see. I feel like her being honest with herself about being a Titan is going to open her up and make her maybe a little less difficult to be around. But also, this was sprinkled in there. She's a lesbian? And this is one thing I appreciate about the show, especially compared to American television. They have these complex characters, but they understand that that is not the end game. That is not the focus here. They have Reiner comment to her that she did not seem to like the boys talking to Ymir, and how heartfelt her speech was right before she changed. She grabbed onto Krista's shoulders and basically wished that she would live a life that she's proud of. They didn't say it outright, but I think that's what that all adds up to, right? She's gay, and Krista is her love, and I think it explains more of why she has this attachment to her. It's not just friends, it's more than that. When you compare the subtlety there to a show like Supergirl, if you guys are familiar with Supergirl, there's a character that is like trying to come out, and they make it this whole storyline. There are aliens and there are monsters out there that they need to focus on taking down, but no. We've got time to dive into this love story over here. Okay, so we got a couple new Titan developments, okay? One which I had touched on. Titans are aware of which humans are in disguise. I really do think that they all know each other. I think that there are some tells that they know who's who. Even if they had never met this Titan before, I think there would be some sort of way for them to figure it out. Maybe they sense it. I don't know. But I really do think that they all know each other, and there are more of them. Also, we find out that Titans are able to understand this ancient language, which was obviously the common language beforehand. You wouldn't use an ancient language for a can of herring or a bottle of alcohol. So I believe that this ancient language that they're referring to is treated like how we treat Latin. Latin used to be the language to speak, and now it's pretty much a dead language, and not a lot of people understand it. I make that comparison because that actually leads me into the next episode. The next episode is called Historia. Historia is the Latin word for histography, or the study of historical writing. Now, I might be wrong about this, but I think that is in reference to them finding more pieces of writing with this language on it. And the fact that that word is a Latin word, I think, reflects the way in which that language is treated in that era, which I think is a cool touch. Like I said, these are predictions. I could be wrong. And that being said, I assume Ymir is going to survive this attack that she had started at the end of the episode. She's going to kill all those Titans, and then she's going to change back into human form. And when they find these pieces, they're going to have her translate these pieces, because she obviously can speak and read the language. Now, do I think they're going to quote-unquote crucify her in the same way that they did Eren? No. I think they see that she's on their side. Even in that episode, before she revealed herself to be a Titan, she was helping to fight the other Titans that they were encountering. And then obviously she jumps into the crowd of Titans to kill those Titans. She is obviously on their side. Also, next episode, Eren, build that wall. Hashtag build that wall. I want to see him do it. I'm excited for it. I want that to happen. I thought that's what we were going to see in that last episode. I thought that was how it was going to end. But alas. Or maybe it'll be all about Historia this next episode. So I wanted to talk about something that happened outside of the episode in the media world. The Attack on Titan Escape from Certain Death RPG. If you aren't aware, this is meant for the Nintendo 3DS system. It's supposed to come out in Japan soon. It was supposed to already be out, but the official website claimed the delay was intentional, as the developers are working to quote-unquote further improve the game's quality. So the current release date is May 11th. So we'll see. Us Americans will probably see much later, but at some point we will see. Alright guys, my name is Kimber. For a hell of a large selection of content, visit it'sahelluvaworld.com, Helluva spelled Helluva, all one word.com, or follow Helluva on our other social media channels. You can also follow me personally on my Twitter. My handle is KimberBobimber. That's Kimber, Bobimber. And that has been episode 1 of Titan Talk. Thanks for listening, and attack on!